Thank you for joining us once again to our podcast where we have conversations about education, entrepreneurship, inspiration, and leadership. We've had there several conversations about how you can make your way to a different country. Specifically, it has been Germany. And today we have different guests for different countries because of the questions that you keep on asking. And also how you can prepare yourself for you to be able to get all these opportunities that the government has been talking about and has bilateral agreements with several countries from all over the world that Kenyans can utilize these opportunities. And today I am hosting two gentlemen, great gentlemen who have very good information for all of us, including ourselves in education sector and anyone who is looking for an opportunity to go abroad in terms of skilled labor force and specifically welding. If you didn't know, welding is a profession. Welding is a career. And to go to the background, when Kenya was building the SGR, we had a lot of challenges and everybody was saying, why wouldn't President Kibaki employ our fellow Kenyans? Why did we have to import welders? We have Lioba and Ronnie. They will demystify for us the reason why Kenya had to go all the way to import welders. What is this that we are doing in our TVET sector that we could do better? We will get advised on that area. At the same time, you'll get advised where are these jobs available, how you can apply for them, and when is the upcoming job fair for welders and where will it be, so that you can come and ask for first-hand information, because information is power and that is what will guide you. And I would allow you to introduce yourselves. We have Ronnie Friedel and we have Lioba Stephen. So please feel free to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for your introduction, Dr. Ekra. My name is Ronnie Friedel. I'm the CEO of the company CTC Weld Training and Consulting. And this is a company which is specialized in training and welding. And we have actually two different branches in Austria, as you named it before, and also in Vietnam. And currently now we are also very happy to announce that CTC Weld Kenya has been found now here as well. So our goal is actually to use all our expertise, which we collected in different countries, in the field of welding, fabrication, to bring it down to Kenya and support especially young Kenyan people to have the knowledge to go abroad. And we will support them. And we means actually myself and also Mr. Lioba, which is next to me. Huh?
Yes, thank you very much, Ronnie. Yes, so as you heard, my name is Stephen Lioba. I'm the CEO of East African Institute of Welding, and that is a welding school that's located in Kitengela, the outskirts of Nairobi. And we've partnered with our colleague here, Ronnie, to see how we can assist Kenyans to train them in welding and to ensure that they get jobs both locally and more interestingly to take them abroad.
Thank you so much, Lioba. And it is also important to note that Lioba is also our member in our association, Kenya National Association of Private Colleges.
Absolutely.
In the TVET sector, where we are trying to give our young people skills, because skills is what sets you apart from the other person. It's what can you do. And now, Lioba and Ronnie, tell us, where are these opportunities, or what is available for Kenyans, for somebody who is watching today and is hearing the name welder and somebody is thinking doors and windows? Could you help Kenyans understand that being a welder is a profession, and what can you be able to do as a welder?
Yes. Thank you very much. I want to take it like this. The thing is actually when we are hearing the terminology welding, then everybody has something different in the mind, right? And the thing is actually welding is a profession. And when we speak about a profession, we speak about different standards. And standard is already actually where I want to emphasize the word standard. Because when we take a look, for example, to the European markets, and you know, the German market or the Austrian market, where I'm from, by the way, we have a very high standard. And here in Kenya, when we compare it, the standard is actually not existing, or it's actually not applied. And that is a big problem in terms of skills. Because when we try to support Kenya, we always put two things in mind. Number one, we want to support young Kenyans for the labor migration to go in different countries, which we will explain in the next couple of minutes. And the second thing is not just only, but we also want to support the Kenyan market. And the Kenyan market means that actually we attract foreign companies to invest in Kenya. Coming back to welding, welding is a profession, and yeah, that's the reason why we're here, and we will try to explain in the next couple of minutes
So
what it is, and I think...
Yeah, let me just build on that.
Lioba,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so before we jump to Lioba, for someone who is viewing and is wondering where is Austria or what is Austria, and we have also mentioned Germany in the process. Austria is a country that is bordering Germany, and they also speak German language. And so with that clarification, you understand it's a European country, so good.
Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about welding and the definition of welding. So there's of course welding of doors, like you said, and still a good job, but it can also be very advanced in the sense that you can weld a pipe which contains hydrocarbons, petrol, gas, and if it's not properly done, it can cause a lot of environmental damage. And that's why when we say welding, there's welding for doors and there's specialized welding. And it's good to differentiate the two. So here, myself and Ronnie, we're talking about industrial welding or specialized welding, which is really high level. You can have, welding underwater, for instance. So you can imagine water and welding, and it happens.
It's possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's welding and there's welding. So ours is really the industrial type. That we
so
like to...
for a Kenyan a layman to understand what we mean by industrial type,
yes,
an example that maybe they are
something
familiar.
like familiar. Yeah, let's say welding of a pipeline, for instance. For hydrocarbons, is very, very important. As you mentioned, for SGR we imported guys from abroad, and for the pipeline too. KPC constructed several years ago the line 5 from Mombasa to Nairobi, and we had to get welders from abroad as well, and many were Nigerians. And that's why we say, man, it's about time that we tried to improve our skills so that we can give our children, our young youth opportunities to do the industrial welding. So a good example of industrial welding is for pipeline and LPG bullets. So you can imagine also LPG, it's a gas, it's very dangerous, and if you don't have proper welding, it's a pressurized vessel, sometimes we have them, an LPG cylinder, it's a pressurized vessel. So if it's not done properly and inspected, then you can end up with safety concerns.
So we are saying this is a skill that we don't have in this country.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. We've visited many schools with Ronnie, and he'll give you examples, and we have a lot of catching up to do. Yep.
And this is why I keep on talking about people training for jobs that do not exist. Because every Kenyan wants to go for business administration, every Kenyan wants to go for maybe a hospitality course, every Kenyan wants to go for the courses that we know. Because when we were growing up, we knew it's either you become a nurse, a teacher, or a lawyer. But when we were children, we talked about pilot, but we didn't know it's an expensive career to venture into. True. So right now, it is important to know that being a welder is a profession because you become an industrial welder. And when I was having a side conversation with Ronnie, he was so proud to say that I've done this in many countries, and I've been to many countries, to mention 71. So that makes us feel like we've never traveled.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you still have enough time to travel, so you can catch up a lot of countries. I actually want to add something which Lioba said before, and which is very, very important. I mean, I believe there are many people that are watching the podcast, and they are saying, hey, wow, I'm a welder. And, we have to try to understand there is the definition of welder, and then there is the definition of welder. So it's not the same. What do I mean is actually, because many people, they are doing some construction works outside of the streets and consider themselves as welder. This is something like tacking, but it's not really welding, because welding means you comply with a standard. And this standard is, what I explained before, is not actually existing here, right? And when we say about a standard, that means you have to skill the welder to a certain level. Then after that, he is able to weld defect-free. Defect-free is actually what the industry needs. We don't want an industry who is wasting time in a lot of consumables, in repairs and all the things. So we want an industry who is profitable and saves a lot of cost, and that comes along with quality. And that is actually what we are going to do. And as you said before, I was traveling to many different countries. Yes, I worked also in many different countries, 13 by the way. And I've seen what quality means. And this is actually what we want to imply to here, to Kenya. Another example, if a Kenyan welder, he thinks he can go straight to a European country, such as Austria or Poland or something like this, and he can start to apply the same quality what he applied here in Kenya, he will fail. Because we have a lot of standards, and the people need to understand what it is. Like, please Google it, a WPS, welding procedure specification, EN ISO 9606, that's the welding certification, and then EN ISO 5817, that's the criteria how we examine a weld and all the things. And this will be taught here in Kenya together with Mr. Lioba.
Okay, now, to us Kenyans, we usually say, I can do anything, I can do any job. Do you have a job abroad? That is the first question they ask. Then you tell them jobs are available. I can do it. Self-belief in, I will learn on the job. Yes. So how easy is it to learn welding on the job? And also, what are those qualifications that you require for you to become an industrial welder?
Yeah, so basically we have no, as long as somebody can read and write, and that's the beauty about welding. As long as you can read and write.
That's the beauty of
yes.
TVET.
There you go. You know, so normally we take KCSE graduates, so it doesn't matter, you know, your qualification. And typically we spend, for a fresh guy who's left either university or, high school, we take 14 weeks, okay? 12 weeks, let's say, between 12 and 14 weeks to train you to
12
international.
weeks is 3 months.
Yes, 3 months to get to ISO 9606. And Ronnie now, because he's a certified, accredited certifier and trainer, is able to issue you with an international certification, specifically for the European market.
Okay. So if I come, I have a younger brother,
yes.
and I want him to go abroad as a welder. Because in Kenya, sometimes we pick the profession that is available, not really what we really want to do because we are looking for greener pastures. So when I have a younger brother, so what will you tell me? What do I need to do with him?
First of all, as you correctly said before, we are demand driven. Mm-hmm. And this is the most important thing, because we need to understand there is supply and demand. And if I do something which there is no market, then I will be jobless. So that I just only waste my time. So this is my recommendation is do something what you like, but also what gives you a good future in the future.
Exactly. During my mentorship, I keep on telling young people that passion does not pay bills.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
so it is important to follow your passion, but also do something that can butter your bread.
Yes.
Definitely, you have to compromise somehow. This is the most important thing, right? But to a certain limit. Coming back to your brother, for example, this is the beauty thing what you said before, because I trained a lot of girls, ladies, and they had absolutely no idea about welding at all. So, but they said, hey, I want to do something new, I want to enhance my skills, I want to try something. And then they found during the welding training the way to the dedication of welding, actually, because welding is beautiful. And what do they need? Actually, they should actually come. They should do a trial weld. We explain them what we are going to do. They should do a day for trying. We will guide them through, and then we will explain them how they can go into the market with the training. Okay, so it's actually quite a simple thing. Yeah. And every person, it doesn't completely matter which gender, and even for people with handicaps. For example, as we had the conversation once, for deaf people. we are having the possibility to train them within 3 months from scratch until they are reaching a level where we can certify them as a coded welder. And after that, actually, they are having the possibility to work either in Kenya or abroad. And as you said, and we have a lot of jobs abroad. And now we want to bring these two things together to help the young people here in Kenya because of the youth unemployment rate. And at the same time, we want to actually give them a future, a sustainable future. That's actually what brings us together.
Absolutely, yeah. And just to build on that, ladies actually make very good welders. I'm very, very serious, and it's because people ask me, so how come? And I think it's because of patience. All right, and you will hear a word like beads. You actually have beads when you're welding, so it needs patience. Sometimes men are a bit aggressive, and we find that ladies make very, very good welders.
Okay, so
I agree.
just to go back, we have a lot of jobs abroad. That's a slogan that has come through when we started this conversation. And I know somebody who is keeping on watching is asking themselves, where are those jobs? They even want to take note and they want to write down to learn what is required of them. What do they need? We have seen, or I am aware that Europe is challenged. Big challenge because they don't have young population. So definitely they need labor from Africa. And we have the young people, but we don't have jobs as Africa and as Kenya particular, because you always help yourself first. We start with Kenya. We don't have the jobs. We have the young people. Again, we don't have the expertise. So we don't have the skill, and this is where Leoba is coming in as an expert institution training welding, and you as an expert in labor export. So try to explain to us, tell us which countries will we be able to get jobs, how much will I be earning, and what do I need to get to that?
I will do the brief introduction, and then when it comes to the numbers, I will swap over. The thing is actually, you said it already, there is a demographic problem in Europe, and on the other side, actually, Africa is a population which is rising. I mean, you just only have to put these two things together to understand how we can support each other, right?
Sure.
That's a very great opportunity. The only one thing is now, it's how we are bringing these people, the Kenyans, to Europe. And that is actually the process where Lioba will now explain.
Yeah. So basically today we have about 150 jobs available. So we had 7 for Romania. With 2 guys have already been taken. So we've submitted 5 and we hope they'll be taken. We have some jobs, most of them are in East Europe, so Slovakia as well. So we're trying to advertise for 25 opportunities that are existing. And then the biggest one that we have at the moment is for Poland. So Poland, we have a demand for 100 welders. So, people say, yeah, we have welders, but actually it's quite tough to fill those positions. So we take, for those of you who know about welding, we take a position 6G, which is the top one. Means you can be a pipe welder. But, it's a bit more complicated than that because Ronnie, was saying, it depends on which industry you go to. So in Romania, for instance, there's a lot of pipeline work that is ongoing. So that is for oil and gas. There's a lot of gas in the Black Sea. We know in Poland because of various reasons that you know about the war. There's a lot of opportunities in the military industry, industrial complex. So in summary, 100 for Poland, 25 for Slovakia, and 7 for Romania. Yeah, so those are the ones we're trying to fill, and it's quite tough. So we want to encourage people to apply for those.
So we are talking of how many jobs, but we cannot get applicants.
Yes, about 150, and we have
150 jobs.
Just 150, and
just 150 welders, but
yes.
We are talking of millions of unemployed Kenyans.
Yeah, but you see now, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So opportunities also in the Middle East. So we are speaking to, the 150 are the ones we have orders confirmed. So we're in touch with 2 companies in Qatar, all right? So both of them require probably 300 or 600. Saudi Arabia, as you're aware, is building a green city in the desert. So they require thousands, maybe. I think the number I last had was 5,000. So those are huge numbers. So I think Kenya has the big advantage that we are, as we said, we have a youth bulge. So that gives us an opportunity to train our youth, to take them to these places, and that's why we're working with Ronnie here. It's a blessing that we get an expert like him who comes and does skills transfer, and to help our youth to get ready for these jobs.
I want to add something on that, because that's very important what you're saying. Just to bring myself into the game again. Actually, we trained and certified more than 600 welders worldwide, and more than 1,000 welders we trained. Actually, 1,000 welders we trained and 600 we certified. And the thing is, actually, you said the numbers are maybe not high or something like this. Yes, they will be very high. What our job is now, we have to go on quality and not on quantity. This is the most important thing, because, as you know, there is a gap between Germany and Kenya. And when we send African people to Europe, we have to make sure that these are top-notch educated welders. Otherwise, they send them back, and then at the end of the day, you win nothing. All right?
True.
So this is our biggest problem, because right now, the European market, especially Germany...
Definitely, Germany is known for its quality.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And to make it with what you said, Lioba, because I liked it, there are actually two ways. The level of skills in Germany is like that, and the level of skills in Kenya is currently like this when it comes to welding. So you have two options. Either the Germans are coming down, or the Kenyans are going up. Now, what do you think will happen?
It is the Kenyans who have to go up, because if Kenyans don't go up, Germany will choose another country to import from, or even the European countries. So the most important thing we are talking of, there is a challenge of skills mismatch.
Yes,
absolutely.
The opportunities are available, but we do not have quality skills. We have skills, but not with competence.
Yes.
So we are talking, we need skills and competence.
Yes.
In this case, in the previous years, and which is still a challenge until today, we've had a challenge of plumbers in this country. We couldn't get professional plumbers. So now again, we are back. We have had these conversations about welding and SGR and making a lot of noise. Our young people were not given jobs, but it is because they didn't have the skills and competence to do welding, still welding. So, and this is where now you're coming in to solve the problem.
Absolutely.
As an expert. Could you, for someone who is listening to you, maybe a parent, they had somebody who got a D, a beautiful D+, and they have been thinking that there is nothing that can be done for that young man or that young lady with that qualification, or somebody who scored an A and is very good at hands, because TVET is hands-on. So welding is, you have said, you need to be patient, you need to be hands-on, you need to really want to do it, and it is paying. So what is the expected salary for somebody who is going as a welder, and also encourage somebody to become a welder?
Absolutely. Yeah,
by telling them your experience.
Absolutely.
As
Yeah.
a welder.
Very, very nice question. So the opportunities are many. So all we need to do is make sure that we train our guys. The salaries, unlike maybe your barrister, and no disrespect for a barrister or anything, or caregivers, the salaries for welders are very, very high. All right, they're the highest in Germany. The ones that we're dealing with now are in East Europe. So those ones average between 1,000 euro and 1,800 euros. Okay, so I mean that is about 200,000 Kenya shillings, and those are the numbers that we're talking of. And apart from that, you typically get what we call FAT, which is food allowance, an accommodation allowance, and a transport allowance, because most of those ones, are either pipelines or industrial complexes where they actually house the guys. So you can imagine that 200,000 plus or minus.
It's gross.
It's gross, right? So you can, they send home, take care of your family at home, and of course the country benefits with Forex. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. As an expert welder, what inspired you to become a welder?
It's actually, it's a challenging job, because every time when you do a weld, you have to demonstrate that you're able to perform the same quality again and again and again. because every weld is a unique weld. And nothing is actually, it's not like a copy-paste, because you are demonstrating the skills by hand. And you have to demonstrate every time that you are on top. And that is actually the reason why the certification is just only valid for 3 years. So you have to renew all the time your skills, because welding is something which goes with hand and with the eye coordination, so that works together, right? And this is what you have to demonstrate to all the time to be on top, right? I by myself, for example, I'm doing not welding anymore. I'm a welding trainer, but I keep myself always on top. So that means actually I'm able to challenge the welders, because I like to interact with them. You know, this is to be one with them, to speak on the same level actually. Yeah.
So did you wake up and you wanted to become a welder? Did you ever imagine yourself becoming a global expert in welding? Or you found yourself in welding profession by accident?
Yeah, it's actually not an accident, but actually I started an apprenticeship in Austria by the age of 15. I became a machine fitter, and welding was a part of my apprenticeship. Also milling, turning, CNC and all the things, but my passion was more into welding, because you know, it's flashing, it's beautiful, and you
The
do
sparks.
something, the sparks, yeah, it feels like every day is Christmas. So you weld, you join something, and then you always try to challenge yourself, you know, to also different welding processes. And this is also very important, because when we are speaking about welding and someone says he's a welding expert, then I'm doubting it, because we have so many different welding processes, like arc welding, like TIG welding, like SAW welding, MUG welding, MIG welding, and so on. And in general,
So I'll pause there.
yes,
Let's explain to the layman who is listening to us slowly the welding, the types of welding.
the types of welding, yes. I mean, the most common types of welding what we are using is well known is actually arc welding with the electrode, which you weld like that.
The
And-
one that we see here in Kenya, I don't know whether
Yes.
Yeah.
Leoba
Jua Kali one. For
took you
windows.
around
Yes.
Jua Kali to a place called Kamukoji, and we know that is the industry for welding.
Most probably, yes, if I get it
You
right.
should go and see, so that you see what I'm talking about.
Yes, absolutely true. But this is actually a welding process which is outdated. So if companies are watching also, then they will understand they have to change processes. Means from arc welding to MUG welding, because actually MUG welding is a faster process, and overall it's more cost efficient. So that means the companies they can save a lot of money, right? So what I'm trying to say is actually we have more than 200 different welding processes. So and when someone says he's a welder, then he's
So
maybe a
like
welder.
now, this beautiful item here,
Yes.
is welding involved?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, resistance welding by the way.
This is resistance welding.
Yes, correct.
So how long do I need to make such a beautiful item?
Well, actually, you need
You
to.
as an expert.
I'm an expert. That is actually machine made. It's
Mhm.
machine made. So that means it's going into the field of resistance welding. What we are talking about, stick welding and MUG welding, is actually melting welding. So those are two different groups. You see, it's getting already a little bit confusing, but that's what I'm trying to emphasize is
It
how
is getting
big
confusing, so that they can join East Africa Institute of Welding, so that the what is looking so difficult can be demystified in class. And Leoba just told us it's only 12 weeks.
only 12 weeks is enough.
Enough to be able to understand all that.
At least, can I clarify these points? Why we say 12 weeks, and we want to also dedicate our speech to the people, because we want to explain to them what we are doing. So there are three major things which will be taught in our training. And number one is actually the joint preparation. People need to understand how do I prepare a joint. I have to do cutting, oxyacetylene cutting, plasma cutting, then I have to do grinding to make a preparation. Number two is the welding execution. So that means which welding process will I choose for joining these two materials together. We are not having mild steel, we are also having stainless steel, aluminum, and many others. Number three is examining. So that means what I have done is according to the standard, yes or no. That's the point. And these three things will be taught in our training courses. Additionally, health and safety. Because health and safety is something many people speak about, but less people are doing it. And that is something which concerns me as well. Yeah?
Yeah.
And European countries, as you named it before, they're very, very tough in health and safety. If you do not comply, then it will be not good.
Yeah, and then and for specific to those guys who are being trained, so we train for the local market and for the international market, all right?
Correct.
And for the international market also we try to add sometimes language, right? Like German, for instance, or we do also cultural adaptation. You know, you're going to a different culture, so that we're going to work in a multicultural environment. So we need to assist our youth to acclimatize them before they travel.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Now we have had conversations about welding. I'm so enlightened. I'm so schooled. At least you've made me understand why Kenya imports welders and we have a lot of young people. It is because we are not training industrial welders. I hope many of us who are in education sector, we have had this. And thank you so much to our member East Africa Institute of Welding for this initiative that you're doing. And thank you so much, Ronnie, for what you're doing and helping our young people emigrate to European countries and working in collaboration so that we can make this possible for our young people. We stop saying that we have many jobless young people, but unfortunately we have the wrong skills. And we are grateful for your skills transfer to our country. Please
Absolutely.
reproduce, multiply yourself as many as possible in this country because we need experts so that we can stop doing a lot of imports, and most of these things can also be done in Kenya. Yeah. So your parting shot.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'd like to invite Kenyans on the 14th of September 2024 at the KICC. We'll have a job fair. And then also on the 27th of September, there is a job fair at Sarit Center. So you're welcome. We'll be talking about different financing models. First of all, the training part. We always have pre-departure training to ensure that we get quality out of our youth. And then we see how to explain to them how that can be financed. We are working with different partners. Youth Fund, for instance, we're in conversation with them through the government department responsible for the youth to see how we can assist our youth go. So in summary, welding is a very lucrative career. As you heard, the salaries are 3 times what you can get from in other disciplines, and you're welcome to come and train yourselves as welders. Thank you.
Yeah, well, actually, I wanna invite all the upcoming welders to join the job fair, as you mentioned already, 14th of September, KICC, 10 a.m. We're gonna start there, and then of course we are very, very grateful to receive also comments, questions, either on the podcast, or they also can visit the homepage ctcweld.com, because we are very how should I say, very grateful to support Kenyans. And as you correctly said before, we should point more the focus on Kenya, made in Kenya, and not being depending on foreign countries, do the labor migration in the wrong way. So we actually should encourage the people. You have 3 months, from 3 months, even a lady, everyone, people, handicapped people, we can invite everyone to get trained within 3 months to become an international certified welders.
I need something beautiful like this for my makeup stand and all that, so I need to sign up for welding classes. Today you've schooled me, and as a career coach, as a youth mentor, now I know from the list of the professions that I talk about, welding will be one of them. I have gotten to understand properly about the industrial welding and the profession, resistant welding, arc welding, and telling me that what I see is old school. Thank you so much for making time to share this information freely with our Kenyans. And we've just been told there is demand for welders for a green city in Saudi Arabia, the demand for welders in Qatar, demand for welders in Slovakia, demand for welders in Poland, and demand for welders in Romania. and an upcoming demand for welders in Germany. We'll come back with that information later.